There have been huge blunders in the war. There have been huge blunders throughout this administration. And unless you're pleased with the way that the federal government has been running anything lately, I don't think that it's going to be real pleasing for Americans to consider health care being taken over by the feds. Say it ain't so, Joe. There you go again, pointing backwards again, though. You prefaced your whole comment with the Bush administration. Now, doggone it, let's look ahead and tell Americans what we have to plan to do for them in the future. We'll learn from the past mistakes in this administration and other administrations, and we're going to forge ahead. In government, you know, you're not always the solution. In fact, too often, you're the problem. We need to make sure that we demand from the federal government strict oversight of those entities in charge of our investments and our savings. Create jobs. You do that by lowering taxes on American workers and on our businesses. And those huge tax breaks aren't coming to the big multinational corporations anymore. And the rescue plan has got to include that massive oversight that Americans are expecting and deserving. Government, just get out of my way if you're going to do any harm and mandate more things on me and take more of my money and income tax and business taxes. Now, as for John McCain's adherence to rules and regulations and pushing for even harder and tougher regulations, that is another thing that he is known for, though. As we discuss ANWR there, at least we can agree to disagree on that one, and I'm going to keep pushing him on ANWR, though. We have got to clean up this planet. We have got to encourage other nations also to come along with us with the impacts of climate change, what we can do about that. As governor, I was the first governor to form a climate change sub-cabinet to start dealing with the impacts. We've got to reduce emissions. The chant is drill, baby, drill. And that's what we hear all across this country in our rallies, because people are so hungry for those domestic sources of energy to be tapped into. They know that even in my own energy producing state, we have billions of barrels of oil. You know what I had to do in the state of Alaska? I had to take on those oil companies and tell them, no, you know, any of the greed there that has been kind of instrumental, I guess, in their mode of operation, that wasn't going to happen in my state. And that's why Tillerson at Exxon and Mulva at ConocoPhillips, bless their hearts, they're doing what they need to do as corporate CEOs, but they're not my biggest fans. So it was Barack Obama who voted for that energy plan that gave those tax breaks to the oil companies that I then had to turn around as a governor of an energy producing state and kind of undo. So government, lessen the tax burden on the private sector and on our families, and get out of the way and let the private sector and our families grow and thrive and prosper. Get extra credit for watching this debate.